How's it going? Charles Bodenstein here. Today we're going to be talking about something that Simon Sinek talked about in Start With Why. A lot of other people talked about it. They're like, what's your passion? What are you excited about? What gets you out of bed? What's that deep-seated why? Why are the things that you do what you do? In The Cell by Frederick Eklund, which I have right here, he also talks about it. He goes, what's your why? What's your reason to get out of bed? What's your reason for success? What's your reason to do more? And essentially, nobody actually explains examples. Like, they just say, you have to have it. You have to go out and you have to that's what gets you excited and motivated and makes you keep on going when things get tough. Yeah, but you have to give us examples. Okay, so this is my example, and I'll explain the route that you could take when people actually doubt you. Okay, so that's mine. It's not self-doubt. It's when people doubt me, that's what fuels me. So when someone says, oh, I don't think you can do that. No, I don't think you can't do that. That's my fuel. That's me saying, you know what, I'm going to prove them wrong. And it fires me up. You know, your why could be because you're a small guy and you got picked on, and now that's why you're a bodybuilder. And it's a fact, is that most bodybuilders are short people. You'll meet them and you're like, obviously they're larger in life on TV and magazines and on Instagram, but then you see them in person, you're like, he's only like 5'10". He's like 5'9". Like, he's not a tall guy. You expect them to be these like huge, like Hulk Hogan like people, but they're not. And the reason being is because I got picked on. So their why is, I don't ever want to get picked on again. I'm just going to become this huge person that is just so intimidating that no one's going to say anything, and I'm going to make up for it. Jerry Jones is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And he had a segment on 60 Minutes, and he said his fear is fear of failure, that he never wants to go back to how he grew up, which was literally on a dirt road, like dirt poor in Texas. He said he still has it as a multi-billionaire. He owns the Cowboys. Just clearly, he's not going to go broke anytime soon unless he makes some stupid business decisions. But he still has a fear of failure, and that's what drives him. What drives him is something that, and this is what I'll get into, is that something in his childhood that fuels him to today, which is he doesn't want to go back to being poor. And that's usually where our why comes from. It's someone that said, you know what? You were picked on because you're chubby when you're younger, and now you're a fitness instructor. Or, like I said with Jerry Jones, that you're poor and now you're rich. It's usually the opposite of what you were when you were in high school. So for me, now that I'm actually talking and thinking about it, mine is doubt from other people, but doubt in the sense that school, because I wasn't good at school, people said, oh, I don't think he's going to be successful. I was always that guy that people are like, oh, he's a fun guy. He's cool to hang out with. But I was never the guy that's like, oh, he's going to do well. It was actually the opposite, where they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll keep an eye out on him. He probably won't do anything. But back in the day, I actually believed that. I was like, you know what, you're right. I'm not good at school, so I'm not going to be successful. And then that's what fueled me back in the day, or fuels me now, is all the people that doubted me then. For my success now, and I'm not saying I'm successful, but I'm on my path to success, and I don't truly think you reach success. Like, I guess you have to internally feel that you are a success, because there's different levels of success. I just felt like there's a bug on me. In college, people doubted me, thinking I could make the rugby team, Division II rugby team in college, and start. And sure enough, I did both. So that doubt, my friends doubted me. I came out of school. I then started working at a financial firm, and in the downturn, I volunteered to get laid off because I hated what I did. People said, that's stupid. You're never going to find a job because it's the biggest recession since the Great Depression. And you're getting into real estate, which is no benefits, there's no paycheck, there's no health insurance, dental insurance, there's no retirement, there's no pension, there's nothing, and you're getting into real estate. That's dumb. So those people doubting me actually fueled me. I then didn't like working at a big company in real estate, so then I started my own company. That's when all the doubters came on. They said, that's a stupid idea, you're going to fail, you're not going to do well. I actually had my old manager publicly in front of other agents, probably about 15 agents. I just told these 15 agents, hey, listen, I'm going to start my own firm. It was great seeing you guys, da-da-da. My manager walks in and publicly in front of them says, it's not going to succeed. It's going to fail. We're going to see him again in 6 months. And everyone started laughing. And I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, you know what? Now, because of that is my driving force to never work at this company or at a big company again. What I'm building right now is going to succeed. It's a fact. It's going to succeed. So that's the thing, is that you can go one of two ways. Say you're poor when you're younger. You accept it and you say, you know what? I'm going to be poor. I was chubby when I was younger. I'm not going to become a fitness instructor. I'm going to accept that I'm chubby. I was picked on when I was younger. I'm going to accept that I'm always going to be picked on, and I'm not going to become a bodybuilder and intimidating. Granted, I don't think that's the best correlation, is you get picked on and then you try and intimidate, because it's kind of the same thing. However, what if you're picked on and then you became a motivational speaker? Or you're handicapped and you become an inspiration for people that are also handicapped? For me, you can either take what you had when you're younger, that all those, those insecurities, and then you accept it and you bring it to yourself in later in life, and then you act as a victim and you say, oh, well, I was scrawny, so I'm not gonna, or I was fat, so I'm not gonna do anything about it, or I was poor, so I'm not gonna do anything about it. Or you can actually use that as your driving force, like Jerry Jones did, or like people who are bodybuilders, or who are influencers, people like that are making up for something that they back in the day held as a deep insecurity. For me, so that's it. I could have either accepted that schooling said, listen, you're an idiot, or that's literally what schooling said, because I wasn't getting good grades, so I accepted it, and they're like, you need extra help, and you need this, and da-da-da. I don't know how to fix it. I don't have a solution for people that were also in my shoes. However, I didn't accept it. So then the other way around it is, now when people say, I don't think that's good, Charles, I don't think you're going to be successful. Charles, I don't think you're going to make Division II rugby team. Charles, I don't think that real estate is a smart choice, and leaving a company that's safe 9 to 5 is a good idea. All those doubters, I don't think starting your own fund in New York City, which is a very competitive market, is a smart idea. All those doubters, you can make one of two decisions. You either accept it and you don't begin, you stay overweight and you don't become a fitness instructor, or you don't become something that is larger than life, or you take the other road, the less traveled road, the harder road, the road where you're gonna get more doubt, the road that you're gonna see a path to progression, a road that is so untraveled that you feel like, is anyone else on this road with me? Who else is on this road with me? And I'll say two things. When people doubt me, I go down that road and I use it as fuel. When people that are, say, a Tony Robbins, who didn't grow up in the best household, is now giving information on relationships, advice, health, wealth, love, and happiness, as Tai Lopez says, Tony Robbins uses those childhood insecurities and just bad memories for his fuel today, that other people don't have to go through what he went through. And it's the same thing with me, is that when people doubt me, I now use that as fuel. So when someone says, find your passion, find your why, find exactly why you're doing the path of self-actualization or self-development or self-improvement or whatever it is, whatever you need in life that you are making up for when you're younger. I remember a show on Jenny Jones, and my favorite episodes of Jenny Jones back in the day were Geek to Chic. The girls that had those big glasses that were this thick, and they would come around and they had these ugly dresses on, and they weren't curvy, and they had long or built out hair, and they had acne and everything else. And then they bring the girl out onto the stage, and she's like a 10. She's like a complete smoke show. She took care of her hair. She got rid of the acne. She now has LASIK eye surgery. She's fit. She's wearing a cute little dress. And it's like she's making up for something in a good way. People are like, oh my God, like, you don't know her story. You don't know someone else's story. So it's one of those things. She found her why. Her why was, I don't want to return to not getting attention, to being second class on the dating scale, because let's be honest, looks do matter in this world to a certain extent, but they do matter. So for me, is you have to find what drives you. Is it self-doubt? Is it something that happened in your childhood? Is it because of incidences in your childhood? People that came from divorced parents, a lot of them are actually in not self-help, but more on a giving scale, whether that's charity, because they went through a rough childhood and they don't want it for other people. Or they were in abusive marriage and now they are talking about abusive marriages, or they wrote a book on it. It's like you live, so in other words, this is what you have to do from literally age 0, from conception to 18, something happened, or you lived a certain life that is different than anyone else. You experienced it, and that's your why. And that's the only way you can have a why, is from something that you experienced, all right? You can't actually just pick someone else's why. You can't say, I want to be wealthy because Jerry Jones grew up poor, or I want to be wealthy because I was upper citizen. Listen, you can say I want to be wealthy because my parents were wealthy and they didn't give me anything and I have to live into their standard. That could be a why. It could be to impress your spouse. It could be impress your children, or do it for your children. What is your core why? And I hope I gave you enough examples there, but essentially you will face and I'll go back to this as well, is that when I was talking about the road less traveled, I think as Edgar Allan Poe said in his, I think it is, I don't know. You can correct me in the comments, but and the road less traveled, the path that someone will take. Because the easy way is when someone someone doubts me, they say, I don't think you can do that. You're like, maybe you're right. Or when people told Jerry Jones, because he was dirt poor and he didn't grow up with any money, they're like, Jerry, why are you becoming wealthy? That's not like us. That's not what our community does. Because he's also surrounded by other poor people. So that was his thing, is that he said, you know what? He took the road very, very less traveled. The one that he had to actually make a path on. The easy way in his community and all of his influences around him was to just stay the way they were. Or people that are overweight, they just accept it. Like, they accept being unhealthy and eating like crap and not exercising. It's like, you can change that. So that's your core why, is that why are you now into health? Because you were chubby when you were younger, or you were picked on because you just did not fit the mold of what a healthy person should or be like. You're in the bottom 10% because you ate too much sugar. And now that's your why, is you want to influence people to not eat other sugar, to not eat sugar, to exercise. So when you go down the path, this is the last thing I'll say about it, is that when you go down the path, and I was talking about the road less traveled, it's the road less traveled, not the road that's never been traveled, okay? So as you go down it, there are other people that are in your shoes currently. There are people that are in way worse circumstances back in the day that have overcome way worse obstacles than you can ever conceive. So you go down this path, guess what you'll see? Other people going down this path for whatever reason. Call it God, call it karma, call it law of attraction, whatever the case is that you just start seeing other people on that path. People with their why, but it's different. Their different why is because they grew up in a bad household and they were forced to be independent, and now they are independent. They have to make all their own money, and now they are just a boss in their job or their industry. And you'll start seeing these people as you travel down your road. You'll start noticing it and respecting those people because you know how challenging it is. You know all the doubt, all the haters, all the people that laughed at you, all the people that don't think that you can do it, that becoming healthy or fit or a best-selling author, a best-selling speaker, or a world-class, someone that dings the universe, as Steve Jobs said, is that you start going down this path, you will see other people that are going down the path. So find out what your why is. It's super important because this is the only thing that gets you out of bed. For me now, it's vlogging. Vlogging is really what gets me out of bed nowadays. So I hope this helps. Subscribe to the video. I come out with a new video every single day. I post it by 7 a.m. I also vlog daily. You can find that below, and that's at cbvlogs.com, or the link is below. Either way, it's pretty easy to get over there. And number 3 is follow me on Instagram. I hope you guys have an awesome day. If you have any questions, my videos are literally made on your questions. I answer every question. So until it becomes super popular, but right now it's not that popular. So let's make it popular. Subscribe to the video and share it and comment. I will talk to you guys soon. Have an awesome day.